Well, hello, beautiful people. How are we doing today? We are back at it once again with the Q&A and the recap of the book Excuse Me, Your Life is Waiting by Lynn Grabhorn. And I wanted to make this video because I know a lot of you probably didn't get a chance to watch all 58 parts. And I know that even though I try to make them, in a 15, 20-minute marker, I know that's a lot of a commitment to do, but there was a few of you guys, and I know you guys are really enjoying this. We're right in the middle of doing a 30-day breakthrough challenge, and that in itself is really exciting. But it's not easy for sure, and that's based on these principles that I'm going to go over today within the book. So I wanted to make a video just kind of condensing everything down, just getting to where I can actually talk with you guys, maybe answer a few questions that you guys might have in regards to some things from the book. Even though the book really does a great job of simplifying the law of attraction and understanding the basic concepts and principles when it comes to utilizing this universal law, which is so important to understand, meaning that it is going to work whether you believe it or not. It's happening all the time. You have attracted this video or my channel just because of where you are in your life. There are no coincidences when it comes to the law of attraction. It's just whether you're using it to your advantage or you're not. And what this book does such an amazing job, and what she did such an amazing job, is to be able to convey this information in a way where now you can start using the law of attraction to your advantage. And one of the things that I love about this book that she did a really good job in was being able to let you know that a lot of people think that it's just saying something. You put something out there and it's just going to happen, right? But there's more to it, and what she emphasizes and focuses on is the feeling. The feeling is what is most important. Capturing that moment and the idea that you already have it. And what's also interesting too is that you don't have to force the feeling, right? If I told you right now you won $1 million and you knew that that was true, you don't have to think about how you're going to feel about that. You're going to be through the moon, super excited, right? Because that feeling comes naturally, but it's the idea of having it now. But one of the things in the book that she did, talk about was the four-step process. And this is very important when you are actually trying to manifest or wanting to manifest, let's say like a great day, you know um and sometimes this could just take like 5 minutes throughout the day, but you want to focus on what you don't want first, right? And that just basically would mean necessarily you don't have to think about it. You just take the focus off of the issue. The key is not to focus on, hey, I don't want to be in debt, because don't is a negative vibration. And if you guys aren't familiar with vibrations and where negative, emotional guidance system, I highly recommend you Google that, to look that up, to notice whether or not you're in a high vibration or a low vibration, because she does put a lot of emphasis on understanding that. So, in a nutshell, yes, when you're thinking about a don't want, you are in a low vibration. And so the key is that's fine to be there, but you just don't want to stay there. So once you have identified what you don't want, now you want to focus on what you do want. That's step two. Okay. And then from there, excuse me, sorry. Then from there, you want to feel the emotions. Okay, you want to feel the emotions as if you're having it already. So instead of saying I don't want to be in debt, you can basically say, I want financial freedom. And then that's a way that you can shift out of the don't want. And then the third step, excuse me, that is the third step, is to feel. And then the fourth step is to actually let it go. and just trust and have faith that it is going to manifest itself. And again, if you're using this on a day-to-day basis, you will see and notice how your day shifts by the way that you wake up. If you guys ever notice how you feel in the morning, because I still do this on occasion where you're waking up and you just have this, I don't want to get up in the morning, I feel bad, like I don't want to go to work, all these things that are that you're feeling. Well, a lot of that starts the way you go to sleep. So if you guys are sitting there, watching television at night, falling asleep to it, your subconscious does not fall asleep, it's taking in all that information. Or maybe you're thinking about, how am I going to pay a bill, and you're worried all night, thinking about that. Well, guess what, you're going to wake up feeling that way also too. So the important thing is, and that's okay if you are doing that, but you want to be more aware of it so that you can start to tell yourself, I'm going to have a good night's sleep, even if you don't, right? Because it's all perception. And that's the key also too, because when you look at a situation and you still find positive in it, um, that's a win. And the more that you practice this, the easier that it becomes. And so that's why not focusing on the problem, right, is most important when it comes to doing this work. One of the things that she talks about, that I know there was a little bit of confusion as to understanding what that means. She talks about open valve, closed valve, and this was actually something that my mentor also had taught me. And when you basically think of a faucet, okay, and you're turning that valve on, or that you're turning the faucet on, or you're turning it off. And when you turn it off, what she's referring to is that you are resistant to anything that is going right, and you are basically in this negative state, you're in this low vibration, and you're focusing primarily on the problem, right? So there is no optimism, nothing, you're just in your stuff. And that can happen again, like first thing in the morning, you wake up and the valve is completely closed. And so when you're in that state, the more you stay with that valve closed, the worse your day becomes, the more you start to manifest reasons to feel in this negative state, because you are attracting everything into your life. So by being aware that your valve is closed, essentially meaning that you're just letting in you're keeping in all the negative stuff, you cannot let your energy flow in a positive state. And so by actually turning on that valve, and that's just switching, not focusing on what you don't want, but you're now focusing on what you do want, being in a place of gratitude, appreciation, seeing perspective, moving yourself up that emotional guidance system so that you feel more appreciative, more gratitude. You just feel more in this, what she calls a buzzing state, where you're just buzzing at this very high vibration, that not only you feel it, but the people around you feel it. And then everything starts to shift. And the more you stay in that energy, the easier and faster you're going to manifest the things that you do want. And so the key is to really just stay in that state as much as possible, and then things will just naturally gravitate to you, right? Because what you're noticing, if this is not um something that you're familiar with, is when you do this work, and I know some people that have actually already done this are realizing, and even like myself still, your default is whatever you're vibrating at. So if things are naturally coming to you negative, or you're always feeling down or depressed and things like that, well, guess what? That just means that that's where you're vibrating at. And that's a choice. It doesn't mean that it's a reality, because we're creating our own reality. And so that just means you've been sitting in closed valve. And that's not wrong. There's nothing wrong with that, because that's why you're watching this video. So now you can shift that. And so now you can make those changes to realize, and you have to be aware that this is happening in order for those things to change. And that's where the open valve starts to come in. And then you really start to feel this excitement and expression of love and gratitude and just appreciation for life. And it is very simple. And when you really get into that heartfelt feeling of, you know, I am this amazing person and life is amazing, even if it feels like it's not. Well, I shouldn't even say that. I mean, it feels like it's always amazing. It's just how you look at things, right? Because there are people out there literally that would kill to be in your shoes right now. I don't care what you're going through, right? That's what you're buying into. Whatever story you've bought into, it might be horrible, but it could be a lot worse. And if you just kind of understand that part, then there's anybody can be thankful and grateful for anything. Because if you got all your working limbs, and even if you don't, you know what I mean? That's something to be thankful for. If you could talk right now, if you could see, if you can hear, there's all these things that we just take for granted. Even just having a home, being able to having a phone to watch this, or a computer to watch this, or television to watch this. There's just so many things that you can be thankful for that you can shift out of, so that you can now start to manifest in your life exactly what it is that you want. One of the key takeaways that there was in the book itself, and again, if you guys get a chance to listen to it, it's really good. But there is a technique that she used, especially when it came around the basis of money. And one of it was what they call the $100 trick. And I think it's part 40 or part 50. It's one of the zeros. But there's a whole thing on there where she talks about like you having $100 and just getting $100 and holding it in your pocket and going virtually shopping. And back then, because this book was written in the 2000s, you would just actually physically go to the stores. But the whole point of it is to just look at price tags. Anything that is below 100. So maybe if you want to put $200 in your pocket, that's fine. But anything that is below that $200, you just look at the price tag. And the key is you say, I can afford this. Not that you're actually going to buy it, but it's just that that if you wanted to, you could. And you just keep looking at price tags. And this will add up to, if you want, like $20,000, because you keep saying, I can afford this. I know I can buy this. I want this. And you get into the feeling of having it. But again, you're just spending it in your mind. And because you have the money, there is no disconnect. You realize, like, hey, look, if I really wanted to, I could get this. You're choosing to just say, I want to look at this, or you know what I mean? Like, I'm choosing not to buy it, but I could if I really wanted to, because I have the money in my pocket. And then just do that for like a whole day and see what happens. And it's a great technique. I think just there was a couple people that were talking about how, they randomly got like a check after doing that video, and being able to, just do that virtual spending, and then like $1,000 came to them. Again, not making any promises here. I mean, because again, everybody has their own individual way of doing things, and but the key is you want to feel right, and whether it happens that day or it happens next week, you just have to be open, intending to know and open to receive that things are going to change. So those are some of the key takeaways from the book. There's a lot more in there. I'm just scratching the surface. There's a lot of controversial stuff, especially when it comes to, if you really want to kind of understand, just the idea of death, news, how the news outlets work, all these things. I mean, it's a very controversial but a very good book. And I definitely really highly recommend you guys take time to listen to it. If you can, go back to it. Like I said, I know a lot of you guys are doing a 30-day challenge like myself, and just let be kind to yourself. It's not easy. I know I was doing a comment uh, I was doing a comment with one of the people that were listening to listening to the videos, and it was a struggle, and it wasn't easy, and that was okay. And I wanted to let her know, like, hey, that is okay, because at least you're doing it. And if this work were easy, everybody'd be doing it. I don't want to give you guys this false sense of security of understanding. The work can be easy once you understand it. But when you're coming from a place of not understanding this, and it's the first time you're hearing it, it's going to be difficult, and you want to treat it as if like you were extremely overweight, and you want to lose, and you want to give that weight back to the universe. right? It's going to take some time. It's not just something that's just going to happen overnight. And you want to set yourself up for success. So you, in those moments, you want to be you want to be continuously kind to yourself and making sure that you're not just giving up. And as long as you show up every day, that means something. That's how you build momentum, and you just focus on what is working. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely comment down below if you guys did actually listen to everything. And then if there is any additional questions, it looks like everybody wants me to do another book. So I am leaning more towards that. And I think I already have the book ready because I think I had mentioned to you guys before the book 3 Feet from Gold by Sharon Leckler, and I think I'll start that over the weekend. So get we'll get ready for that. And if you guys haven't already, make sure that you like and subscribe, hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any of this great content, because I am going to be posting every single day. That is my goal and my commitment to you guys. We're going to be on this journey for a long time. So definitely share this information to your friends and family, and because the support definitely helps. Let me know what else you guys would like me to talk about. Is there any other questions when it comes to the book? Also let me know. And until next time, you guys make it a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.